Is everybody in? Started. I guess while we're waiting, I'm just going to go over some of the logistical things for this afternoon. And probably the most important time is about the bus departure, so we make sure we don't leave anybody behind here. But this afternoon, we're very fortunate, like I said earlier, to have a couple of our customers willing to share their ideas, and I'll give them proper introductions. But I think that's going to be a good portion of this afternoon here, and hopefully we get a lot out of that. And our very own Todd Stady will kind of wrap things up for us here from a presentation perspective for the end of the day. And then for until 5 o'clock here, our partners over here next door will still be available to answer your questions. Take a look, please spend time. They are an integral part of what we do, and just like GE. And if you have any questions or any interest, I think we can more than happy to answer them for you. And then this evening we're going to be boarding the buses. It's going to start at 5:15, so there's 3 different times for bus departures there to give you a little leeway one way or the other. And then return times will vary. I think we have some, but I think if you just track down Jennifer, depending on how the game's going, or maybe if the game's going, thunderstorms, we'll kind of play it by ear and we'll see what happens. And so there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to come back. We're not that far, really, from Wrigley Field. That's one of the reasons why we chose this location, because it's an easy, a relatively easy shot to get there. A little more difficult from our home office as there Thursday night or Friday. So again, welcome. Again, we're going to start things off here with our customer, but before we do that, I've got something I'm going to share with you here. So full disclosure, I don't know if any of you or anyone has seen the in the world to advance on manufacturing, a lot of stuff that Keith was talking about today. So we at INS, in fact, Holgar and myself took a little bit of liberty with that video. We decided to make our own out of it. So I have a couple of good friends that are patent attorneys. I may need them after that because I'm sure I'm violating tons of copyright laws here. But be that as it may, I will profit from this, and I swear I won't be selling it anywhere. So hopefully you enjoy this, and this works. And of course, there's no line. You could overdose. I could. Yeah, it's all the way up. Oh, whoa. Morning. What are you? They call me modernization coach to help modernize your life. Do you think you're running here recently? You've got the wrong problem. I'm talking about your automation software. You have the most up-to-date version in your pipe. No. You have to distort it to collect that data over time, so you can compare it later. No. Is your architecture thin, leveraging cloud technology in a virtual environment? No. Okay, I'm here to help with anything.
something to help power the planet.
That's too high. Okay, well, let's just stick to your plane. Let's say we go in and upgrade your plane with the newest version of software. We will make sure we are collecting data from all your controls. Then we will add a historian so you can extend the value of your data investment and take the first step towards transforming data into actionable information. Getting all this?
Yes.
Okay, we will complete all this using the thin client architecture strategy, which will lower your total cost of ownership while increasing system availability, adding redundancy, and enabling browser views. We incorporate alerts, alarms, and reports, giving you access to them via your tablet or mobile phone, securely via the cloud.
That sounds hard. Can somebody else do this?
A lot of work by Tolga, by the way, so thank him. But that we wanted to at least give a little homage to our partners there and talk about how they're really an integral part of all that we do. And at least for the 25 years that we've been in existence, they've been partnered with us. So I'm going to jump now to, I think, what is an important part of this mouse challenges here. Back to the auto adjust. Requires me a push button. All right, and we're ready to go. All right. So, as I said before, we're very fortunate to have partners that are willing to present and show some of the stuff that they're doing. Certainly an opportunity for them to showcase, but it's we're very fortunate that they're willing to share. Because I can tell you, from a marketing standpoint, it's difficult to get people to do that because much of what they do in their plans, much of the stuff that we have to do, can be a competitive differentiator. So we're grateful, and I'll just say thank you to them and to others who helped us out along the way. The first customer speaker is Bob Nelson. He's the Plans IT Manager for Appian, that's formerly Appleton Paper Products. Bob been with Appian. He corrected me from our paper here. He's actually been with it for 29 years. So you can guess how old he is. For all that time, for most of that time, he's been part of the IT organization in some capacity one way or the other. As I said, he's currently in the IT manager for the Appleton plant, responsible for the systems that run that location. Bob holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin and an MBA from the University of Wisconsin. So please help me in welcoming Bob Nelson.
All right. Still get that, I have you guys after lunch. See your heads do this. The only upside is that I'm not following Tom, so that's always pretty good. We've been using Plan since 1997. I was starting to get into auto before and sitting at bank. I actually did through some paperwork and I found an invoice from all the systems from back around 95, somewhere over there. So we've been at it a long time. I took it over, it was Plan version 3, we're currently on 6.2. The name's a little different, I'll put it happy on it. Since I've been there, the name has changed like 4 times. Yes, can you get caught up? I know it just keeps changing, so I'm talking about so. And I'll try to give you an education for all of you. Alright, our operations, as I pointed out, is the one I'm responsible for is in Appleton, Wisconsin. We have locations in Lawrenceburg, Pennsylvania, also Worcester, Ohio, other distribution centers all over the place. Our main products that we make are little paper, cardboard paper, plastic paper is microencapsulation. It's a lot. So if you travel here, you have your receipt in your wallet, it's thermal paper. So go ahead, do that one, or a little more. Thermal paper is anything that you take it to, I'll show you later. It's a very technically complicated piece of paper. It's not like plants, on paper, toilet paper, it's especially, very specialized. So I'm gonna point out, we have, the main things we make, that you're probably used to is point of sale. If you go to any grocery store, any gas station, you get a piece of paper, that's something you do. Don't try to find your pressure, you just hold on, run your finger glass very fast, and you make life work. That's why it's called flow. It's a 5 by heat. So that's one of our products that we make, a number of products, I should say. Carbonless paper, is sold in a 3-part carbonless form, so like painting area and everything. That's one of the products. There's so many that it's actually, that's probably the United States, but in other parts of the world, it's still used quite a bit. So people say paper's kind of on a downslide. It's in the US, but not in other countries. Security papers, our Rosewood location makes a lot of security papers, watermarks, bonds, very secure facilities, got all the razor wire on the outside of things, so you can't kind of win. Specialty papers, very high quality fluorescence. When you look at anything like at a grocery store, you see things that are laid out at a bright colors that hot. That's specialty papers. You need to have plant application. And microencapsulation, which is kind of what drives a lot of our technology, particularly carbonless paper. If you encapsulation, a lot of people know our largest customer is Procter & Gamble, P&G. If you buy like the laundry soap that has fresh scent bubbles, fresh scent stuff in it, that's ours. We made it. Okay, I'll show you how it gets in there. You look at how small the capsule is, these are capsules not even here. Okay, so it's very small, so you're looking like a carbonless paper. Those are the capsules that are in between the sheets. So when you're writing on it, it breaks the dye and breaks the base. So we can pretty much encapsulate anything under the sun, which makes this a very sought after manufacturer. So where are we going from here? Paper making 101, this is what you guys are working with. I won't go a lot of time, it's kind of an eye chart. But I want to show you where paper is not a perfect product when you look at it from a manufacturing standpoint. Because when you're looking at a large roll of paper, you hold it, you fix it. So it's not like this perfect thing out of the box every time. It's like any wood product. You look at it. So primarily paper comes from, you can get your source in 2 places. Basically, you go on the cut trees down, and you pull it and bring it in with a line of pulp in the upper corner. Our Springfield facility is this. It's a paper manufacturer. So our base of Appleton paper is, way back in the day, was paper making. We've kind of gotten out of that, more to the innovation side of coating, which is the section over here, and now where we coat and we finish paper. So when we look at, people say, we make paper in, like, no, we didn't make paper in, we coated paper. So that's kind of where we get to differentiation. So, under the guts, how do we use Plant X? Plant X kind of sits in the middle. He is kind of the, what you call a bottom feeder. He's really positive the bottom feeder. Actually, I should measure it the bottom feeder. But it's, it kind of sits in the middle, and he integrates wherever we can get configured in everything under the sun. And our main pieces that go out there is SAP, we're going to be getting Edwards customer JD. They're more than NES applications, I'll give you a couple screenshots of them eventually. And then perhaps we apply, Jerry Rowe will say, he's going to work on getting an apply historian to develop more sci-fi, and one of the other guys kind of work on it. But that's kind of our configuration, a lot of integration points in the process. I'll kind of go through a few of those to move forward. So, our business case. You're a large customer, European customer. They installed new high-speed cameras on their production line, so they could look at the paper coming off. When we talk about paper, think of taking, you're going to take like a roll of toilet paper, roll it across the floor in here, and walk through the thing and look at every sheet as you walk. That's kind of a nice camera that looks at it coming across. But we're talking large rolls of paper, 18,000 yards, looking across, looking for holes, pinholes, insects, something along those lines. So they were rejecting our paper, saying you guys are not in spec. And historically, when you did specifications, you take the paper, you cut a chunk off the end when you're all done running, you throw it out of the paper, you quality testing on about 10 to 12 yards of paper, which were basically out of an 18,000 yard roll. And you're assuming that and it's the same as everything else that we roll out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that data through. So we're going to buying high-speed camera system, operating suite of processors. We installed 3 of those on all 3 of our main cores in the plant. And these things are so good, this is the processor screen, all those little notches here are defects. It could be a hole, a pinhole, it could be a mosquito. They're that sensitive, they can pick up across an entire state. We're trying to find a mosquito at 18,000 years old. It's pretty impressive. All right, a lot of data, a lot of data points. You look at how close. What do you do with it? Basically, their system's very good at looking at the roles that they're going across. There's no way to really assign basically a license plate or a lot number to that role that came through. So that's the plan. You're going to use one of those nice cartoons with the husband not walking the way, kind of thing, which generally we have that kind of stuff. I don't know. So this is kind of where we're at. Magic is going to happen between the two. We're going to tie plans and process together. So, as pointed out, processing screens, they record a lot of data. Not only do they record one way, they record 2 ways. They should play from the bottom, they should play from the top. So, we're looking for things that come through, get the big data. This one, what's that? I noticed the nice lever on it. Look at this. There we go. Go back to it. Notice we're shifting around. So here's how we basically we're going to tie that together. Proximix, we have outside, we have Planex, and they're in the bottom. And Proximix, if they're recording their data, they send it into OSI card. Basically, they don't store it into a scheme. Instead of into our OSI storage, we then feed into Plan applications as it comes down in. They send us my tags. What we do in the process of that is, for every time they came in for, determine the real number based upon the time it was running, and we send that active file back into the Proximix itself, so that they then update their system with the output number, so they know basically what we're running on. Not sure what it looks like. So how do we do all this? You guys administrators, or you guys are pretty much on the admin side? No, you guys are going to talk about it.
Admin side.
Admin side, all right. Alright, so if you're an admin side, you'll appreciate these. If you're on the other side, you're going to listen to what the hell is you show us? This is how the magic happens, okay? Think about the back side. So we basically create all these variables in the back end to capture this data. And basically, as we come through, we're basically defining the average of the understand the import tags. Data coming into the system to build the settings as it gets there. As you create standard calculations, another part of Plan Apps we do behind the scenes. So we're going to take that high data we got, we do some massage, and we're going to add a bunch of other data into it. We're going to come up with a magic number, okay, which is basically defects per outcome, and then we're going to be based on that, we're going to go to spec management. In the paper industry, a lot of things basically running the spec. So what we did is for every kind of defect, and these are all new kinds of defects. You have medium holes, small holes, coating voids, large blade streaks, and living under the sun, and we want to capture. We basically put specifications on it by making that by grade. So we're running through it as the columns are coming in, we tell the user in their own spec. And then for the magic happens, okay, this is where this stuff comes in. Whereas the columns are running and dropping in, this is where our system looks. These are all the variables coming out of the process camera system by every outturn. Now, an outturn in the water stream, you guys can be continuous, very discrete. Every roll has particular characteristics to it. It may not be the same as the prior roll you disclosed, but it may not be the same depending on the base and the chemicals that we're doing. Right, so the outcome of it, thumbs up, see this and see if you guys go right. Kind of funny, when you first put the camera system in, it has to learn where defects are. If it comes in, it doesn't know what you're at. So we started out, it kind of sucked. I'll leave it at that. We put a lot of rolls on hold because they were showing defects that may not have really been defects. And once we got the camera system basically fine-tuned to detect the kind of errors that we wanted, feel better. Customers are very happy because we had basically the same camera system data. So before we even sent the product out, we were catching all of our defects before we were out to the customer. So they're very happy with the fact that we did this. That was a good win for us. Now, planners, they point out planners. A lot of people think it's just a quality system. It's not. It's more than that. For us, it's like, I use more like a Swiss Army knife. Just think of all the things you can do with it. Okay? And I'm going to walk through some of these and go through it. Your quality insurance, tracking products, a lot of interfaces. I spend really half my life on interfaces, a lot of reporting alarms, so I'm going to walk through these. Go through these and through it. A lot of what we do in the industry is, we're figuring you have a roll of base stock coming in, and you're going to put a bunch of coatings on it. So we have a program called Coating Kitchen. They make up all the chemicals for it. This happens to be tied, this project is tied to our factory talk, which is Rockwell software, factory talk SE application, which is all new procedure. So they're making the coatings up in basically the Rockwell software. When it's done, Rockwell has its own historian. And basically, when you set it up, you say where you want to put it. I put it on Prophecy. I'm applying that database server. So when it's done, it writes all the data out to there. The interface that runs every minute and goes up and pulls that data off of that, move it out the column. So the reason I put this out is the very end column, what it looks like coming from Rockwell. That's their order number. Their operators change it and put anything else that they want into it. So it's one of the interfaces that we have to Rockwell software coming in there. This is sort of what our screens look like. You're not just looking at paper. We basically run everything in. A lot number is considered just a roll of paper. We have a lot of tags against it. Basically, we really are returning. All these are high tags coming in. That's under we have 60,000 tags coming into this thing. There are a lot of them. Lots and lots of data being collected as it comes into it. We're busy all the time. We also have tied into test equipment. We in the paper industry, we have a lot of things. The major one is called a caliper tester. Basically measures the depth and width of the paper. And the operators want to type all these numbers in. Okay, so we basically bought the SDK. And we wrote the interface, to Excel, Excel. We didn't talk a lot about Excel. We love Excel. So basically, the application that we wrote, we gave the interfaces with the caliper machine. They hit the button, it uploads the Prophecy, and the magic happens, all the data comes in. So it's not only like major systems you can tie to, you can tie it to another cell-based stuff using SDK. Let's put this one. This is one of the ones that, if you look at the number of tags that we've come in, every one of these is a tag. And this is like the top of the screen. So we look in, you got all the coatings coming in, you got water coming in, you got temperature, outside temperature. You name it, we measure it. So you can all those things can impact the quality of the product. So at any given time, when the administrators, when I saw the end of running, that guy is drilling CQs like this. He's working pretty hard to pull that octane. He slows down, I sucks. Okay. We use a lot of alarms. Not to say our operators are lazy, but their job is to sit the button, let the machine run. If something goes wrong, we let them know. So this is, we talked about everyone alarms before. Here, when things start getting out of certain coming out of spec, you'll sort of get that. And we also pop up a nice little alarm bottom, which makes a nice little noise on your PC too, or until you shut it off. So they're part of that. It's the detector that we use. We do a lot of variable tracking. We basically do a lot of charting data. I think you guys can do that. This is more of a generative set, be a caliber one. It shows the trend is going across, driving over where it's very nice charts to use for the operators. I think a lot of people don't realize we use it for environmental tracking. We don't like to kill fish, we don't like to pollute water and air, things like that. So we're pretty strictly governed by the EPA. So what we have is we have time events that come in every hour. Get the back end, and basically black over and brings all the chemicals that we're using at a given time. And it creates all of our environmental variables in the model. So it's it tracks pretty well. So what it's doing is looking at the chemical makeup of each product, each part. And that's one part of the plants that we can show within the back end plants. So we set up part numbers, we basically set up all our environmental data in there as well. It's one of these powerful chemical their hazardous material, what's in it, kind of things, and basically it's type of case number, and that's all built into our client apps. So we're running, you know, that, we also have, at least come in quality coming from our suppliers, they send us based on to our rolls of paper. They send that as a CVAS, we basically use that data and it's another cell template because they don't send it to us via XML and API. So we bring it in and we upload to the quality. So while we're running our product, we can go back and try to give an output number from their product so we can pull that data ahead into our auto issues. So it's a lot of stuff going on. This is one, I guess the other one. We actually have this great backup pie. This happens to be when we're making the thermal coatings up, it will send out, we actually write back out to pie. Which, you know, I won't back to it, but so basically we're looking at going both directions of pie. We are bring it in and we bring back out. Green liners, it's a lot of manual entry that they put in. So you can see it. Shears, shears, you think about our little paper, we cut it into small chunks. They have a lot of manual entry they have to put in as well. Plus, there's a number of tests that they do in their equipment, interfacing across. Again, using Excel, goes into there, bring it back in. Come back to Excel, or Excel, that's how okay. Here's my favorite part. So, I know that some of the guys on down trade plans, which you use on support guy. John was my predecessor, and after him before I took over. He wrote this. It's a massive Excel spreadsheet. It does all our reporting. It's according to the spreadsheet. So basically, you pick a number, you calculate, it goes up to 20 apps, pulls all the data in. So basically, we have our real materials built in plant apps, pull it in. So we know our water, our chemical, these are things that come in and basically all pulls up. All the given coatings, colorless, purple, storage, you name it, all in. So we were talking before presentations, and it works pretty well. I mean, it's one of those things you can teach. Those are familiar with these little add-ins at the top, the little plant apps add-in. You can teach people to fish pretty easily. Show them where the variables are, you variable name, they won't pull data on. Save me writing reports. Pretty good summary. Now, water, you probably don't do it. Ours basically has running product. As we change the grade process goes out with the solar grade sign. Look at your quality tags. It accumulates. If you've never been to plant apps producer, you probably never see it. Accumulates all the data. Well, what we use that for is another again, self-startup sheet for the operators. We go back and do the last 5 times we ran this product and how do we set the machine up? What was the temperature, how do we set everything up? So they know exactly how to configure the machine based on how we ran it. So it's kind of a handy tool. A lot of people don't use the regular summary of the paper streets. It's pretty valuable. Web reporting with Dan. He has favorite screen right here. Dan, you probably ordered one of these and bring it yourself. We use the plant apps quite a bit for the web report server piece. Our main piece that we're trying to support other than ad hoc stuff is CDA processing. So we are sending data out to our customers based on the quality of data. There's certain things they want to see. We don't want to show a basis weight, by aperture. So this was one that we developed internally to kind of raw. This is the kind of piece from JE Networks. So we have an interface back to JE. Basically, pulls in through SSR support, dumps in the processes into all shipment tables, and we basically know about that. So, tactical lot. This is a snapshot of our MES system. He's driven the process. And what happens is the upturns come in as the paper is running. That gets sent up into here as well as all the coatings, which was actually being used. So he's kind of like our middleware. He's kind of like the work summarization area. So that's the main interfaces we have is from plant apps to our homegrown piece. Again, sending a lot. As soon as we send it up, it doesn't know anything about it. It just sits there and waits to take it. All right. I've got to go fast, but I'm going to give time to talk questions. Our next step, cost division. So pointed out that before. One of the areas we need to start looking at, We don't do a really good job of dashboarding. We're really good at tracking the little stuff. We're trying to, OE numbers right now, we're pulling that out of the MBS system. I want to push it down all the chain, so we're using some of these tools. I mean, I was working out that actually getting auto wash, it's kind of cool. I mean, you can log in like you want to log in clinics. But you basically got the auto wash and the proposition. So, for me, I'm just kind of lazy, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't like reinstalling Plan X on all of my PCs. It's actually like 500 PCs I got to work on. I got some that's going to be some that's going to be his job. It's true. So I can do that via URL. So. Yeah, that's about it. Kind of fast in a nutshell. To the water guys, you're like, what's he talking about? Paper guys are going, hey, you know that. It's a company water. Pardon? Water. Yeah, I know. We use a lot of water paper. I'm pretty sure actually water will put back on screen when it comes in. So, questions?
Did you have any problems integrating Pi with Prophecy or any other software?
I no. We go inside. We're not a we'll get there. Well, the story piece was pretty well. We just find something to find server out there and how we do it. There's two ways you can do it. You can do like an RDS or one day service to it, or you can do it use the SDK. There's the high. It's just the most service that runs on the server, and you point to that and it works both of the text. So it's not an issue. The other way to do it would be to install the SDK on the RDS servers on the Pi server, and then do it. We actually have two running actually.
So a lot necessary networks.
That was pretty good. Well, the good thing is our servers all sit next to each other over Pittsburgh, so they're all pretty fast. The Measure X and Pi, we usually moved our data center. We're in Wisconsin, we're in Madison. So that was going to be an issue. But it's not, because the Pi packages are so small, so you can stay flat. So there's no issue. So there's a lot of data points. The Measure X and wonder where to pump the data out left and right across all the seven folders. Yeah, I think there's an issue. Nothing else? All right. So you got 20 minutes? Yeah. Pretty close. All right.
Now's the water, right? But as I think they were just talking about before, paper and what they help present just like
So the sanitary district, a little bit about us. We're almost 100 years old. We currently serve about 110,000 people in 4 or 5 cities and suburbs around here. We have 22 industrial users. 75% of the wastewater that we treat is heavy industrial use, which creates a lot of problems sometimes with our instrumentation. Main treatment site is a 9-acre site. And we're basically short for that. It's for an activated sludge treatment plant. We have 41 million gallon a day permit, 125 million gallons a day max flow. And additionally, we take care of 50 remote pumping stations and 4 CSOs. 30 of those remote pumping stations are actually owned by the city of care, but we maintain them for them. The architecture that we have in our plant, we're using a redundant fiber optic ring with version 5 Ethernet switches. Originally, 10 years ago when I started, we were still on data highway, fiber optic to data highway, very slow. Couldn't really handle all the data that we were trying to push through on our SCADA system. So we upgraded to fiber to Ethernet 10100. That was nice until just recently we decided to start adding a bunch of high definition cameras onto our network. So we upgraded to the gigabit switches, which has been really, really nice. We're pretty much a full-blown Allen-Bradley PLC facility. We're doing a lot of transitioning right now away from SLIC to compact logics and control logics. Basically, Allen-Bradley's trying to force us to do that. It's not cheap, but. And we have a few Modicon PLCs. And then we have probably 15 ProSoft wireless Ethernet radios that we're starting to put in around our plant. And then we have conduit that fails, underground conduit from concrete shifting, things like that. It's cheaper for us actually to go out and put in a wireless radio in a small micrologics to get the data back into the system. And like I said, we got 52 high definition cameras. The cameras, and we pull all of our outside pump stations over CDMA modems on the Verizon network. We've actually been doing that now for about 16 years. A lot of places are just now starting to look at something like that. Then our SCADA system, which INS didn't help get it up and running. The iFix 5.5, when I started, we were on Fix 32, so we've actually stepped it up. I think we went to 4.5 and then 5.5. So we have about 11,000 tags in our system. One SCADA and 3 client nodes. We don't have a redundant node. We do back up a second server that we can bring online at any time that we need to. I do that since I'm full time. It's just been easier that way for us. We have a terminal server for remote access. We're using the Citrix client. I guess we have 10 licenses for that. We have probably 7 or 8 iPads in the plant that are assigned to individuals between operations, myself, instrumentation and control technicians, and then the operators. Historian, we had 2 to 3 years ago, I believe, maybe 2 years ago. We bought 2,500 tags initially, but we're going to upgrade that to 5,000. Like I said, we're installing the runs of the smart IntelliCenter MCCs. Anybody that has dealt with those knows there's a lot of data that you can get out of those over Ethernet. And we want to start using a lot of that information to be proactive in pump fails, equipment failures, motor starters, things like that inside the buckets themselves. That will allow us to do that type of data collection. And then the alarming software, we use Win 911 and Win 911 Mobile. And then proxy workflow, which is in development right now. That's going to be a long process. Our operators are actually trying to develop all the SOPs needed to make that work properly. And I'm guessing that's going to be a 5-year project. Try to get all that going. This would just be an overview screen of the remote sites and how our operators can actually access all the remote sites. They can set up how often they want those sites to be polled. What we actually do is SCADA polls those sites once every hour, and then the operators do it 3 times a day. So we're polling every one of these sites 27 times a day, grabbing data and bringing it back, putting it into our storage in case we want to go back and try to figure out what happened on these stations the next day or a week from that time. About 5 years ago, the district decided to come up with some goals. One of the goals was to implement a one-man operation on the off shifts. My operations manager is sitting back here. He hired in 24 years ago. They had 21 people in the operations department. As of today, we're down to 8. We're getting the exact same amount. We're improving SCADA and the data collection, the way we use that data to make decisions in the plant, and the operators to make decisions while they're out doing their rounds. And then we also decided we need to go through the alarm the way we initiate the alarms and the way that we respond to the alarms. That was going to be implemented when 911. We put Win 911 mobile in as part of the one operation, which I'll explain here in just a second. We just actually won an award from the Illinois Wastewater Environment Association for our innovative use of SCADA and Win 911 to facilitate one-man operation. And we're about to hit 10 years without lost time accident. I think that's going to be next month. This is the second time we've actually won that award. This time it was pretty much for the way we developed the program to make sure that the guys that are out there by themselves maintaining their safe work practice while nobody's around, the way we respond to taking care of them if something does happen. And then this is the operator wellness check that we're talking about. But what we've done in SCADA is we decided to use SCADA to activate confined space alerts in the plant. So if something happens, an operator or myself, since I'm normally sitting in front of the computer, hit an activate button and it immediately sends a bunch of alarms out for Win 911. Win 911 mobile or Win 911 text or Win 911 email to the people in the plant that don't have cell phones. And it immediately tells them to meet at a certain building. So within about a minute or two of having a confined space problem, we've already got a team mobilized and responding to that event. And we also have a team waiting at the front gate to bring in the fire department and the police whenever they show up. And a team to talk to the news or whatever may happen. That's in conjunction with that. Same thing with weather alert. We can activate that and everybody in the plant can get an immediate notification of what they need to do and what kind of weather alert it is. Security alert in case some crazy person wants to come to the front gate and try to do something. We can activate that. And then our operator wellness check, you see you can activate it. Once it's activated, it starts the whole process. They start a timer and we allow them to see what that timer is. They actually have to restart that every 30 minutes. If they don't restart that every 30 minutes, it triggers a whole set of alarms. And then what we can do is somebody, if you've ever dealt with 911, the person that grabs that alarm and acknowledges it, it turns around and sends an alarm to all the other people telling them that, hey, I acknowledge that alarm. So you don't need to worry about that anymore. But then we can actually log into the system using a terminal server and our iPads. And we can start searching the plant with our cameras to find out where that person is at in the plant while another person is on his way out there to try to respond and find out what's going on. So far, it's worked out pretty good. And then there's a picture of one of our instrumentation and control technicians in front of our new chlorine stuff. When he's actually got SCADA pulled up, he's verifying that the pumps are showing the proper speed, and that's compared to the magneters back to back, and that's displaying on SCADA the proper way. At the same time, if you had a problem, what we've also done on some of our screens, and we're going to do it on all of them eventually, but if you see the documentation button up there, if you click on that documentation button, it actually has a link behind it to our engineering server. So these guys are out, this is a combined sewer overflow, these guys are out in town, and normally they have to drive back into the plant, get one-line drawings, instrumentation drawings, hydraulics, whatever they may need to actually do the work of that site. Well, now they can click on that document, it brings up a web browser, they can click on the button on the side, and now they've got the documents right there at their fingertips, at the remote side. They don't have to drive back into the plant anymore. So not only are they more efficient, but we're saving gas from driving. Some of our sites are 30 minutes away. So we're seeing a lot of benefits of that. And they like us so much that we actually don't have the 5 minutes for the operators and instrumentation control technicians to get their job done, so they have to share them. So right now, I'm not looking at expanding that out, they'd like to see. Then we've also tied these live cameras into SCADA. So when they click on the front gate button, it's on the main overview screen as it pulls up, it automatically pulls up the camera feed for the front gate. They also have the ability to go back into that camera and then rewind and go back and look and see what's happened over the night. We're using the ONSSI video software, and it gives you the ability to just scan through and find out exactly where movements took place. Most of the time what you see on that is deer walking in and out. So if you like wildlife, that's the camera to watch right there. And then probably the main thing that we've done in the last 2 years that's really helped us out was to add historian. What we're doing with that, we have daily reports that the manager uses for process control and IEPA reporting. Anybody in the water industry knows that's pretty critical. One of the things that we're doing that replaced that was Excel reporter. Was the main way that we used to grab that data and we email that data out in Excel reporter in the morning. Well, we've kind of gotten away from that now. And we've gone to historians that our PLCs reset their totalizers every morning at 7 o'clock. There are certain times where individuals make mistakes, like myself, where I download a program or I do something, I change the time of the processor, which messes up the totalizers. There may be days where people don't figure that out for, weeks at a time. Well, now we have dynamic reports that you can actually pull up that will go out and they'll tell you whether or not your totalizers are off. And if they're off by a whole bunch, then you know you got something wrong, so you go back there and try to figure out what happened. My operations manager calls that a sanity check. Okay, and he runs that every morning. Except Saturdays and Sundays, when he comes in, he runs that, he verifies that nothing is wrong. This is one of the daily reports that we're using for digestion totals, primary slip totals. And if you see the far column on the end is what the calculated maximum value should be every day. If you look at the columns that have the colors, everything in green is within spec. The two columns in the orange and the yellow, there's something wrong. So we've got this sheet built, and if you see any one of those colors, you know immediately that you need to get in there and go back and look and see what's going on. Is it an instrumentation problem? Is it a PLC problem? But it tells you immediately which tags you need to look at, the description of it, so it's pretty quick. This is a project, a $6 million project that we've got going on right now. We're replacing our mixing capability on top of our digesters. We've got new mixers that are going in. They're a completely different type of mixer that's supposed to produce a lot more gas. Okay? We needed a way to prove that we're getting the mixing and the gas production that we were promised we were going to get. But we also needed a way to prove it to the IEPA or the Department of Energy who we get grants from. Because we do get audited a lot of time on these, and we need to be able to prove that we're meeting our goals. So if you look here, this would be a digester number 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going out and we're grabbing all those data and we're going in there and we're showing, are we actually getting what we're supposed to be getting? And right now it shows that we are. So we can turn this information into the IEPA department or the engineering firm that's actually doing the job with us. So we're using the historian to get a return on our investment. Like I said, $6.8 million upgrade to the digester complex, but we also have several $1 million upgrade going on in our blower system or our aeration system. The driving force behind the historian. 3 years ago, we put in 2 new blowers and we got audited. And by the time I spent 2 weeks getting that information out, it was almost not worth it anymore to get the blowers for how hard it was to get that information out and prove that we were saving that money. So we decided to go to historian. Last year, we put in 2 more blowers. The same company audited this again. It took me 3 hours to do what took me 2.5 weeks to do 2 years before, basically because of the storm. So this is just this project, just mimics and improving solids and destruction gas production. We need to be able to prove that we were doing this, so we were comparing it by using the historian. Another thing we're doing with the historian is we're required 6 months out of the year to do chlorine disinfection to our effluent, which is our water that gets discharged back into the river. We have had a problem with online analyzation because of the heavy industrial use that we have. So we spent a lot of money this year. We put in new chlorine analyzers. But what we did was we went out and we built a sheet so our operators could do a manual test. They type in the number for their manual test, automatically pops it into the correct time slot. They can do it as many times as they want within that 2 hour time, which actually makes our trend look better, getting more data points. And then what we do with that is we overlay it with the actual analyzer itself, which would be the blue line, and then the red line, which is their manual testing. So we can see that it's tracking kind of good. You can't see the scale over here, which I'm talking about, like 0.01 milligrams per liter. But before, that red line was a stack of papers about that thing from the guys taking it, and if nobody ever went back and looked at it, you really would have the idea of whether or not it was tracking correctly. The other part of this is now with historian, the lab can pull this information up, they can pull it out, they can run their numbers and put them side by side with these to see how accurate, my analyzers are compared to the manual test, compared to their lab instrumentation. That's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions?
Are you guys, government entity or private?
We're a municipality that has a board appointed by the main county. So the way our county government, we have our own board of directors. We do not actually have anything to do with the city of Boulder. We take care of some of their equipment, but we have anything to do with the water department, restraining, sewage treatment. Oh, sorry. We do, but there's certain times that I have things down. It doesn't happen very often. So micrologics, computer, or this times it goes, and we do grab some data out of them. That's kind of a bad example, really. But there have been times where I actually download something wrong and I don't change the time back, and then I have things offline, and that's why I can get reset. But that's why he's calling that a sanity check, because he can back me up on that. The other part of that was, we grab runtime hours from every pump in the plant, and runtime hours from all the pumps out of town. And we were actually putting that information into our data management, or our maintenance management system. We didn't take it into account. We wrote a rule that you could not have more than 168 hours a week, 24 days, 7 days. We forgot to take into account the time change. Okay, so we had 400 or 500 pumps, and when the time changed, about 300 of those pumps showed an error, and it wouldn't automatically pop that data into the maintenance management system. So we went back and rewrote that rule and thought, we're only off by an hour from 6 months out of the year, and we'll get that hour back. But that's really what brought up that sanity check. We had taken into account the time change.
Do a bi-directional interface with CMMS so that they have to come back and play the SCADA system that you're coming up on maintenance and all?
No, we're using the maintenance management system called Catware that doesn't really seem to have an API. So actually, we're looking at changing that maintenance management system out now. We are trying to not do a whole bunch of work in the background that requires SQL, where we got to have somebody on site all the time that can do that work. I personally want to be a SQL programmer. So, no, the answer to that is no. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jimmy, and thanks again to Bob too. As I said before, it's great to have customers who will be willing to share with us. All right, we're in the home stretch here. We've got one more, and I've asked Todd to kind of give us a wrap up, kind of a summary. And we called it a day in the life. So, well, this is going to probably be pretty close to the first time I see it here. I'm going to enjoy it with all of you. So, bear with us so we can switch some computers here.
Is everyone in the room over 21?
Yeah. Well, so, well, Todd's setting up here, and I'll just need any credit for anything, but he's He's been with Industrial Network Systems for 16 years. He's held different positions in marketing and management, but I know. See you guys from this week. He enjoys doing what he's doing. So, I think you're gonna enjoy this, for sure. And I'll let him introduce himself through his presentation. Ozzy. All right, Chad, you said push the button. I love when anybody says those words to me in any context whatsoever. Let's make sure my audio's up. All right. It's always great being the last individual to present, especially when you're following a series of industry experts, vendors, intelligent people, end users that have experience, and it all comes down to me. Here we go. Day in the life. So the original concept of day in the life was going to be a little bit lighthearted. But originally Soltar and I were going to get together and do a fairly serious role play. What it was like to have access to real-time information, and what was it not to have that access, to have it be all paper-based. A number of factors came into play. I'm not going to lie, one of them was my personality. Two, Soltar didn't want to work with me. And so slowly, we really came to the idea that if I control that wow, it wasn't going to be as dramatic as we'd liked it to be, and he came up with this title. The real fear, though, I think that goes through everyone's mind with the Breaking Bad reference, is that no one wanted an image of me in my underwear in the desert. So, what we did was we changed the concept entirely. Days in Todd's life. You're going to be privy to what it was like for me in the 16 years growing up, some of the experiences I had dealing with customers, dealing with system integrators, dealing with vendors, everyone else. So Todd goes into sales. As Mike said, I held a number of positions beforehand. I believe the position I had right before I went into sales was called Director of Client Support Services. Meaning I was coordinating training and doing a lot of inside functions. Terrified of going outside. So this guy picked my ass out in the real world. It wasn't done out of faith. Literally, I came at a point in time right around the economy was tanking. And tanking so bad that the blue chip economic indicators actually use rabbit shit to describe how we're came from. So this is the world that I jumped into as a salesman. I'll never forget going to my first sales call. And this is literally a true story. I'm driving down the road. I call into Greg, I go, hi Greg, it's Todd. I'm going to my first sales call. What do I say? There was this 4-second pause, dead silence. And all of a sudden you hear all these other voices. My Lord and Master was holding a sales meeting and thought so highly of me that he completely forgot to invite me. So the instructions literally came out, do or not do. There is no try. So we can get, yeah. So, right, wake up minutes. The concept is not working. So you get a sense of me going on sales stuff. Actually, I remember when this was one of the thoughts I had was, realize I know nothing at that point in time. So I had to deal with, one of the first people was an individual named Ron Hedgehog, how smart he was. And there's these terms out there, PLC, OBC, HMI, MI. And literally, like, this is what I'm doing. Here's me talking about power. So these series of sales calls go on for good weeks. So, and I decided, that was my first lunch break. Goes on for a good week or so. And the results were amazing. They were stupendous. It was incredible. Because what I found was a very common thing that occurred. Customers were giving me almost the exact same feedback that Greg McCullough was giving me as to how I was doing. The feedback being drunk is too, but it's not like it's nice. That drunk is too, but there's no way to go through life. Fortunately, at this organization, we were a family, a very tight knit one, and there was a lot of people I could learn from. Rex was one of them.
Ken Blue and China, Texas Ocean, were inside sales. But I did want to single out two individuals, the Matts. Matt Flanagan and Matt Morringer. They were two of our application engineers and some of the brightest people I ever met. Unfortunately, they did look like the love child from Funny piece of irony, a lot of the lessons that they gave me are very similar to what Matt is thinking right now. Roots. Here.
Remember you told me to tell you when you're acting loosely and sensitively? Remember that? You're doing it right now.
Yeah, that was me. So I go through and I learned a lot of the concepts. I had very interactive sessions with them on and off, and they weren't doing a real job. And I got the concepts. I started getting an understanding of what was going on in the world. Well, this is what an HMI is. Okay, so how do we connect to it? We do it by this wonderful driver library that we have with an Evolution. And there's this thing called an historian. What's an historian used for? I was literally asking a question like that. Well, that's a black box flight recorder. Or are these things difficult to use? No, they're very easy. You can connect to about any data source out there and get it. You don't have to use special wires or anything else. No. We progressed on and on and on throughout time and getting better answers to a lot of the other systems out there. I became part of Martin. My mind is a raging waterfall and creative alternatives. Trust me, it'll be better if you have something figured out. So I go out into the real world and armed with this newfound enthusiasm. I'm going to take what's eventually going to become the Prophecy Suite, and I'm going to sell it to every last end user system integrator out there. I was charged. And I ran into what I referred to as paper outcomes. Going into every last one of these customers out there that we have monstrous reams of paper that was utilized to collect information, have a plan for it, write it down, and do all this other stuff. There was one of the companies, literally, was 1 mile away. It was a division of 3Com now. They would spend, just in one area alone, $2,000 every quarter just on paper, so they could have people who fill it out. I didn't really understand why would they do this. Why would they take tons and tons and tons of people, give them paper, then have them line up and turn in that paper and do all this other stuff? Now I knew this clip was too long, but this is kind of a test. Musically, right now, you ever see Blazing Saddles enough to go, that's why you're going to click that long. So I went out, my first attempt was literally to say, Billy Morpheus, all I'm talking about is the truth. You can either take the red pill or the blue pill, just like on the Matrix. Right then, I'm honestly saying, Todd, we're being the dumbass and trying to sell drugs to all the customers. The irony of the entire situation, in one sales scenario alone, I literally got an email that said this. I had a champion who went out to try to get budgetary approval, and he got a reply back. There's not enough data to prove the ROI of the solution, and therefore will not be able to move forward. What am I talking about? I'm selling this system that's going to give you the data to, never mind. So I come out on my education, and I just request everyone say this.
Sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. Now, evidently, my psychotic colleague informs me that that can't be done.
So I didn't have high vision of what these bosses look like. So I kept diving in and trying to understand, okay, they take paper, they collect it, they take all the stuff, they create an Excel report, they let that Excel report sit in a slow cooker for about a week, and then get together every Friday or every other Friday and do it. I chose this picture very specifically just because once I get Billy actually uses his hand on it rather than look at it. So the companies out there that aren't doing this, that aren't really understanding and receiving the message, they're making executive decisions. We're talking Fortune 500 companies making executive decisions from a technology that isn't as powerful as Oregon Trail. Very interesting concept. P.S. by the way, if anyone knows the makers of the Oregon Trail, thank you for introducing me to what dysentery is. And no, if we're out of food and people are holding shotguns, I'm not going to trip the guy if he uses the word ain't. That's a great lesson I've learned in life. So I go ahead, much into the slide I showed before. I want to understand, and I literally would attend meetings. I would sit there and truly plan forward. get an understanding of the paper, and how it's used and what goes on, just so I can try to figure it out. Come to discover one key thing, machine downtime report. Give you a raise of hands, who still has something similar to this? Doesn't have to be downtime, okay. Got a couple and a lot of other issues, okay, there's some good out there. The irony of it is, if you look at the anagram for downtime report, it is monitored torque. And if a boss was to come to me and hand me this report and say, I want you to write down every lesson you do, I would feel like a monitored torque. The fun part is, you really get into it, because with that type of attitude, I think they should just title the downtime report in crayon with a big reverse bar and a figure of their choice as they say, here, go fill this stuff out. The fallout to all these people, though, is on the Friday meetings, you get into what I would call the worst conversation ever. Quality heads, operations management, plant management, all sitting around trying to interpret what's going on. Well, what is the number one reason that we're not efficient? Timmy, Hodor, Chewbacca, Pikachu. It is repeat over and over and over again.
You can't find the innocent of war.
But then every once in a while, they keep using that word. Every once in a while, the boss would come. Chewbacca wasn't included there, and I think he really should have been. But the boss would actually say, go out and get me more information out of this.
You know more.
People that would have to go out to the quality group in 617 who stuck the same basic paper system that they are, except for them on the data, and who get a reaction very easy to mind Python, completely great. What is the? Well, if you actually look at the history of the term, it's the Anglo-Norman term that's based in the word papyrus. Perhaps that's the reason that companies are holding on to this so near and dear to our heart. I mean, it is ancient technology. It's very proven, and it's very easy to understand. Came around right around the same time that the wheel did. But unlike the wheel, paper, and no offense to Abby on the unlike paper, like the wheel, which has changed to the point where now in real time off of each of our cars, we can understand fuel economy, efficiency, speed, tire pressure, and everything else, but paper still remains paper. From its origins, even looking at it, paper in itself dates back to the papyrus dates back to the Egyptian times. This is a very ancient technology that still mystifies me because the meanings really have changed around it. Back in Egyptian times, Isis was a goddess, not a terrorist organization. Anubis was a god, and not a toy you can find on some sex site. But it's accurate, right? Paper's accurate. No, countless studies have gone show that in world-class scenarios, it's 92%. If you're at 92%, it's a standard in manufacturing and anything else. If you're going to have handwritten material translated into Excel, that's going to be the 92. And the reasons for it are very simple. An operator might not understand what the true reason code is for downtime. He might call it sheet jam when there might be something upwards of the supply chain that's causing the variability that's causing the jam. So you'll start reporting the wrong information. The downtime in itself is not 15 minutes long. The downtime is 14 minutes and 37 seconds, and thus the errors occur. Now we're not accepting the fact that someone might miskey into a cell and everything else. What happens at 92% intelligently is, I think we don't agree the number goes down. Let's say it goes down to 85%. Well, that doesn't sound like that much, but if you put it in the context and think this way, let's say 15% of everyone that was selling Girl Scout cookies was a guy my age with a beard coming here. Would you buy the cookies then? No.
Why don't you just make 10, Robert? Make 10 be the top number, make that.
See, I can't use the sound thing. But there's no interpretation. Paper's a fact, the information's right. Well, we already kind of spoke to it. But no, paper's very easy to misunderstand and take out of context. The rules amongst your own. My favorite misinterpretation is this is an accurate headline. However, did they really need to choose this picture to go with that headline? No, they did not. But it's amazing, right? Paper's tiny. No, it's about the tiniest guy no longer guided. No offense to the sanitary district either, I swear. Whereas in my world, I would much rather, I did not play this scene. I would much rather have this conservation, if anyone knows the movie Bridesmaids. Shows that scene, joke made love enough. But you take action off the data. No, this is a real customer report action of mine that I've had for years. I look at that information, this is how management is showing productivity layers to their operations team. They literally send people out. There's, I want to say 45 stations in this plant. And they pay people coloring markers. Beautiful. It doesn't tell me anything at all. You know, if you've got that much time and energy, great. So I continue my learning. GE at the time had a wonderful Six Sigma lean program, still does. Way back when, there's no charge for the GE employee. I got a little bit of information from there and I attended a few seminars. Now, because of copy protection rules and fear of lawsuit, I really can't share the exact material that was shared, but I can give you a highlighted concept of it. So the main issues, you know, we had people not wanting to justify it. Who keeps reinforcing these notions? Where does this come from? And so I asked my Six Sigma coach, what's it like to be in these meetings?
Good chair. Squeeze your head tight. Thumbs up. Go fucking shut. Then take a paper bag and put it over your mouth and nose. And breathe your own air over and over and over and over and over.
Well, okay, who came up with this idea in today's date where I can go literally pull out my cell phone and get every last KPI from a manufacturing plant? These systems now today, they do small little pilots and test concepts. We're not dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're dealing with 15s and 20s and 50s. Imagine what it would be like if your boss, if your other boss, if you're going to still be my boss after this round, knew instantly every time I made a mistake, it would come around the corner. Within a manufacturing sector, this technology is so viable and readily available, it's not even funny. So who really holds on to this idea and who wants people just sitting in a chair for hours on end on Fridays analyzing a bunch of paper? Nerds. This one? Oh, it's live. All right. Well, what if a company chooses to continue on this path? If they're going to stick people in a room, in chairs, doing it, what's the best alternative if I can't solve any software? Good stick.
That way you can sit wherever you want. You just take it, shove it up your ass.
My final conclusion of looking at it overall as far as paper-based information and not lack of real-time visibility is the companies that run these type of plans are basically running them on the same concept as a home mirror business test. You're not going to get the results until after you need them. By the time you get any of these results, well, it's already too late. You're not going to change the course of history. Fortunately for me, I had companies that either realized that the lab data was bad or that they were actually there to make money. And I sold systems. Now it's gone. The benefits out of these systems are readily apparent. I'm sure many of you have seen this slide before, but I started seeing actually what our solutions can do in the real world and the impact that it has. One of my favorite customers out there, you know the story already. We worked with a cheese manufacturer in Wisconsin. They were considering a multi-million-dollar expansion of their plant. In order to make the KPIs and the metrics real time, we recovered enough lost manufacturing time and enough lost scrap that they didn't have to build the plant. They had no idea whatsoever what the reasons are. Another favorite one of mine is John Deere. The system was one of the first ones I sold. For years and years and years, second shift was used 7 tractors to shift on average. First shift would do 13. Paper-based system led to a lot of finger pointing. First shift is not staging the materials in the proper way. This happened, that happened, a lot of finger pointing. We put a system in and monitored in real time. As soon as we got the real reasons, the next day, second shift started making about 13 tractors a day. These harvesters are good for $248,000 each. Suffice to say, their investment was money well spent.
Cinderella story.
So it's just
what are we achieving now?
But it's not just the problem today, it's a problem that's.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep
Many different companies will have operators who act in a completely different manner to the exact same scenario. Across the streams. Across the streams, they won't know what to do. That would be one of my favorite words. Real story. They're not here today, so I can't tell them. Love you, Devcon, love you, Secretary Hosmer. This is not a Todd made up problem. This is a real flow chart. This flow chart, if you look at the data entry points and decision points, has 5 different sets of forms associated with it. This company, right now, literally, in the words of Chicago, on average has $1.5 million in products that hit the street and got returned for some quality issue that they have no idea about. This is their answer. 1.5 million. Well, that's not a big deal. How often does that really change? Is it 1.5 million a year, 1.5 million? Every 6 weeks. But Brian said it, it's what he said. You know what you're gonna do with $1.5 billion? If you got that much money to waste, just short of 5 Ferraris. Oh, it's probably not a company. You could go buy the Ferraris. You could buy the James Bond prop car that would like out its plan. It doesn't work, but you can still buy it. Or open a district business with what distribution for LPDs, which is going for $100 million. Your choice. The problem continues today, and the companies that do business with us and really come to the same realization that I do. This is basically who they are now.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh. I'll have what she's done.
Questions, comments, concerns, ridicule? Sorry, man, you look like a little child. Yes. My understanding is the next is the technology institute, might get. Alright. That's why I say. Yes, we have some very diverse and talented folks at our organization. One of them, you probably heard, right there playing piano, which is 42, so we're very fortunate to have people like that. So we are done here for today. We've got the technology expo. We still got our partners there that are going to be next door here until 5 o'clock-ish. And we'll start having buses leaving for the rooftop. We're going to be meeting down in the lobby. The first bus leaves at 5:15. She's amazing to have this number. And they'll be running every 15 minutes after that until it's like